Hi everybody, I'm Education Team Designer for swirlydoos.com, and this week's tutorial is going to be paying attention to details. It's all about the details this week. I'm going to be focusing on the little details you can put in, your layouts and your projects, just to give it that little extra touch. Like here, I tore back the page, but then I added, the lace behind there. And then here I added some diamond trim, some bling trim here. Looks like little diamonds. And just little random, things just to make that page, your page just that much more beautiful. So I hope this is helpful, and I hope you guys enjoy it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. And thanks so much for watching. So before I start, cutting the papers and all that kind of stuff, I like to prep embellishments. Like right here, I'm painting these flowers so that they could be dry, and if I want to make any flowers, I do that first, and cut out any die cuts or anything like that I want to do first, so that it's done, so I can just kind of piece it together really quickly. So like I said, I'm just painting these with some vintage white acrylic paint. So what I've done here is I took some Magicals, the Black Orchid Silver, mixed it with some water, and I'm going to be painting the edges of the flower. And then you'll see later that I spritz it with some water, and it makes the color bleed. It doesn't, color the flower completely, but it makes it really, really nice shade of like this gray color. It's really pretty. So what I'm doing now is I'm taking the pink paisley wood letters that come in the main kit. These letters are really nice size for titles. The title of my layout is Tomiko, which is my grandma's name. And what I'm doing is I'm just painting them with some gesso. So after they've dried, what I'm doing now is I'm just mixing some of the Black Orchid Silver and the rose color, the Magicals, together, and I'm just going to be basically painting it on. And I do it a couple times, but I do add a little bit more of the Black Orchid Silver in the end, just to give it a little bit more gray color. You could see here that it is a little bit more gray. And what I do next is I'm just going to basically take a paper towel and kind of wipe off some of the paint from the letters, because I don't want them one color. I kind of want them, a few shades of color. I'm sorry. So it's like pink and gray and a little purple. So this is the fun part. It took me a lot of trial and error to figure out how people do this. This is just my way of doing it. I'm sure everybody has their own way, but how I find it easiest is I just spritz a little bit of water and kind of tear back and fold and really, rip up the paper just a little bit on the edges, just to give it that look that I love. I do it on so many layouts, but So I'm just doing it around the paper here, and then I just come in and I kind of scrunch it up. Right there you could see, and then I heat set it so that it stays that way, so I don't have to, you know, go back and mess with it later, so it's just there like that. So I just continue doing it around the page, as you'll see, and I really love how it looks in the end. After making sure all the edges are completely dry, it's very important, or you're going to end up ripping the paper even more so than you probably want. I end up taking my Prima Distress tool and just finish, you know, distressing the edges there. Just makes it, you know, just finishes the layout perfect, because you don't want any straight edges when half of it is distressed. I end up backing the paper with the pink and cream color striped peon design paper. The top page is peon design paper also. It's in the main kit. I don't think I said that, but I do have it in the blog post. But so I just go and I distress the edges with the Prima Distress tool. So here's a little, I'm not sure what to call it, a money saving tip or what, but what I do usually is I cut out the middle of the paper, so it's basically a frame when I add the top piece of paper onto the bottom piece of paper, just so that I have, you know, the two layers of the pattern paper, but I'm not wasting all the extra paper that is underneath the top paper, if that makes sense. And so you have all that other paper to use on another project. And then I add cardstock to the back of that, so that, you know, it doesn't look ugly on the other side. Also, I don't add adhesive to the full layout to the edges, just because when I'm adding the lace there, you know, you could see that I, you know, lift up the paper and just stuff it in there, and if there was adhesive all the way to the edge, then I'd rip the paper, and you don't really want that. So right there I'm adding some pearls, just adding all the little details, and I love how the lace peeking through just adds so much, you know, little detail. It makes it so dainty. I love it. So now we're going to start assembling the layout, which you'll see goes pretty quickly here because I did so much prep work before. So I have these two strips of paper. These are the Peon Design papers, and just layer them together and just put them in the middle of the page. This is just a basic, you know, sketch. Not really too elaborate, but just adhering down the picture of my grandma. And then you could see that I am going to be clustering some flowers, and I know a lot of people have troubles clustering flowers. I usually start off with the biggest flower first, and then just kind of shove things in there and just, you know, add little flowers here and there, and you'll see in just a second. But I add just a little flower there on the right side, and I do end up taking off that big pink flower on the left. It added way too much pink to the layout, and I didn't want that much pink. That's just a little resin bird that I painted. I painted basically everything with the vintage white, I believe it's called, the acrylic paint, just to give it a little toned down look. And there's a leaky shed key there. Those are the petaloo flowers there. So you saw that I shoved a little clock piece in there that I painted, and here I just, to tie in the crocheted lace on the other side, I just added a bow there with, that I created with the lace, and I just added a little flower there, and I added one of the pink paisley tassels right there. So that completes the layout, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope it was helpful to you. It was really fun making this layout, and if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me, and I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks. Bye.